fine.
I'm so stoked. You're back. It's me and you.
We're hanging
You and
out.
I.
This is going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one. Hello, friends who are joining in and listening. So grateful that you're here. We're still in season 2, chapter 5.
Yeah, this is, I'm new to this, but thank you to you for nerding out on genetics because I learned a whole lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I mentioned in episode 1 that you can go back to Laughing Without Liquor. I think it was episode 1. Yeah. Where you can hear more about Tamar's story and specific genes. But we're going to get into a little bit of that today. It's interesting to talk about DNA. People get really freaked out about it, because it's personal.
It is personal.
When I look at somebody's chart, they kind of almost freak out a little bit because I see them.
And I think when I first looked at my chart and my report, it uncovers things that I think some people are not ready to explore. And
yes,
I kind of had this feeling that some of this stuff would come up, but when we sat down and you said, okay, Tamar, let's look at this gene. And I was like, oh no, I thought that might come up. You have to start looking at things a little bit more seriously, but it does give you a lot of good insight. So I really appreciated it.
If you haven't yet purchased the book, I just want to make sure that you've purchased the book. You can go to Amazon or any, reseller online and turn to page, 94, 95, get into the book with us. I want to talk about David.
Let's talk about David.
David is one of our friends that submitted a story, and he had a little issue.
Just a little one.
What was his issue, Tamar?
Well, as it says here, he casually dipped his toes into the world of gambling. So, I've dipped my toes into the world of gambling and not good.
Did it? No, not well.
It didn't progress like many do, but I could definitely feel the pull for more, even though I was losing. So I actually became I'm one of those people who can go to Vegas and I put $20 down, and if I lose it, I'm done. Or if I gain 20, I'm out.
Oh, see,
but it's dangerous.
I go and I'm like, let's play. So I'm like, empty my pockets. Don't give me any money.
Yeah.
Because I will sit at the table and I'll throw dice all night.
and maybe it's because I haven't had a lot of money to throw away like that. And so, because I have friends who actually are getting support for a gambling addiction.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very aware of my addictive genetics. So
yeah, gambling takes you out.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
I have a really, another dear friend besides David who has had the biggest wins and then has lost literally everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to recognize that, our genetics, our DNA, we have this blueprint that shows us these genes that are highlighted. And I mentioned in episode, I don't know, maybe 1 or maybe 3, I can't remember, but it's definitely in the book, that, you're going to be, the DNA is going to show you that, you struggle from addiction, but it's also going to show you that perhaps you struggle with other addictions, right? So gambling, shopping, sex, wah, wah, wah.
You're like, what's wrong with that? There can be a lot.
That's a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that need to be loved, liked, sex.
And you might be wondering, well, what does this have to do with sobriety? It has everything to do with it because I know for myself personally, all of these other things that I can dip my toes in, that is one step closer to grabbing an alcoholic beverage again.
Right.
And actually a few weeks ago, I was like outside and I'm like, ooh, that cigarette smells really good. Maybe I'll ask them for one. I haven't smoked for probably about 8 years. But I knew that if I had one, I might keep smoking and that could lead me closer to a drink. So it does matter.
It 100% matters because remember, you have this blueprint, your DNA, you have these genes that are messing or mixing the neurotransmitters,
Yeah.
the dopamine, the serotonin, right? Like the glutamate, and these are what make you want more, crave more, do more, throw the dice more.
Cheers some more.
Cheers some more. So David really had this experience of understanding, wow, I have this genetic propensity. I have this little DRD gene that is pulling on me. And so he took action.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you took action, Tamar.
Just like I did.
Yeah. What are some of the things that now that you know about your DNA, what are some of the things that you've changed?
I've definitely changed the way I've eaten, because and I found this really fascinating, is I've shared many times my story about working out 7 days a week and eating chicken, broccoli, and rice. And one of the things that came up was that I can't handle hours of exercise. My body doesn't do well with that. And I was like, what? How is that even possible? Right? Because we live in a society where people think that more is better. And if you go to a personal trainer, right, they're going to tell you have the standard 1,200 calories, which is not enough. They're going to tell you to work out, right? But there are things with my DNA that I actually couldn't do that. There were some fruits that I couldn't. Okay, this was the biggest one for me, which I gonna just say it is I still drink coffee, but caffeine was one of the things that came up.
Right.
And I did pretty good actually in the beginning,
Yeah.
but it's still something I fall back on. And I was shocked when I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Coffee? Are you kidding me? But just knowing this information at least helps me move forward. You know?
And I think there it is right there. You're moving forward, not backwards.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe not today, you're not giving up your coffee, but you're getting closer to saying bye-bye.
Yes.
To it. Right. Or you start drinking less, and then you start drinking the green tea and then the white tea. And then you're like, I don't even want it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. That was my journey with the matcha.
I remember that.
Right. Done.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things, I just recently went back to my DNA because I'm working out a lot.
Yes, you are.
I'm in it to win it. And, I'm riddled with a couple of these genes. But I had to, I was like, okay, can I be working out every day? Is this good for me? Do I need more time to recover? What's the situation here? And I actually can work out 5 days a week.
Wow.
So I know. My trainer was like, oh, just, do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But because I have this like full on desire to work out, my head started getting in the way. And I was like, well, I can do cardio 2 times a week and then I'll do weights 2 times a week. And then my head started badgering me and kind of beating me up. Oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go right back to my DNA and I'm going to check this out. And so now I have the security of understanding like, oh, my body actually can handle this. Here's the big iffer. If I'm taking care of all the other things like recovery, rest, right? I'm taking the methylated B vitamins, so I'm removing the toxins from my body. And I found out, Tamar, that if I'm not taking the supplements that I need to be taking, I feel like poop.
Yep.
So it's like I have to be on my A game all the time, which means I can't let the disease ruminate in my mind. Which actually means that I need to keep walking towards like a spiritual path, which we're going to be talking about in an episode coming up. I'm super excited. As
you can tell, Lane is super, super pumped about this. But I do want to mention something in terms of understanding your DNA is that, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody who's a personal trainer or anything like that. But we as a society, we go to somebody who has been trained, right? And we listen to what they say. Almost every single trainer I've ever had they've taught me a lot. They've taught me a lot about weightlifting, which is important, especially for women my age.
Yep.
They've taught me a lot about cardio and stuff. But when it comes to certain things, not everybody is built the same. And so we gravitate towards, ooh, this is a diet that's going to get me the body that I want.
Right.
But what we're not doing is going, okay, I wonder if actually that works for my genetics.
Right.
And that's why, 1,200 calories, as I've learned about metabolism, is not good for anybody.
No.
But that is the standard. If you
Mhm.
go and see a doctor, if you go and see a personal trainer, a lot of them, not everybody, will say, okay, you're going to track your food, you're going to eat 1,200 calories. But wouldn't you want to know from your actual blueprint
100%.
because it's the 30-70. See, I'll never forget that,
I know, right?
So, yeah, I think it's super cool.
It's empowering. And I think that's what's so crucial. That's what we want you to hear today, is that Sobriety for Dummies, right? This is a brand that's all about learning made easy. Learning is fun. So this chapter is really about you, inviting you to step up and investigate your DNA, understand how you're made. And you're such a unique little flower, just like Tamar is.
I never thought of myself as a flower, but okay, I can dig it.
Go with it.
I'll go with it.
I don't know. Do we have anything else that we need to cover in this chapter? I mean, there's so much here.
No, I think if you haven't listened to episode 1, make sure you go and do that, because Lane dives deeper into it, which is much more than I can talk about. I can only talk about my personal experience and what I've learned. And it's like, get your blueprint. But yeah, definitely go back if you haven't listened to that and read the chapter, because there's going to be a lot of information in there that will help you. We are all unique. Our body types are all different. One shoe doesn't fit all, shall I say.
Spot on.
One Adidas does not fit all. It's my shoe of choice. We are in no way sponsored by Adidas, but Adidas, I love you. And your shoes.
We love you.
Yeah.
Okay. So here are your action steps for this chapter, chapter 5, right? Chapter 5. Make sure that you download the extra chapters over at wiley.com. Make sure to sign up for the app. Make sure to buy the book for a friend. Start reading the book with a friend.
Yeah, start a book club.
Start a book club.
Yep.
And then, reach out to me and get your DNA done. Let's do it. Let's just get this done.
You're going to love it.
Yeah. All right, friends. Thanks so much for hanging out, Tamar.
It's been fun, Lane, and we'll see everyone next time.